Hello YouTube and welcome to yet another edition of the Mock Show. Today we'll be starting a themed series of bots that'll last over the next couple of weeks and probably end about either the first or second week of June. Anyways, today we'll be going over Carcharokhan. Yeah, his name has the same root as the Carcharodontosaurus, except this is his name's taken from the great white, which is Carcharodon carcharias. I suppose I could have called him Carius, but that just sounds weird. But then again, so does Carcharokhan. Anyways, all that aside, he is a mechanical great white shark, and frankly, I kind of wish that Jawbite, from the Hero Factory's Breakout line had been more like this guy. But then again, Hero Factory doesn't do Transformers, so yeah. The proportions are a bit off, and in some places there's undesirable gaps, namely right here. But I might fix that later on. I don't know. Right now I'm just going to be lazy about it. This episode will be kind of short because he's the simplest of all of these. At least he does. Yeah, he's the more or less the simplest of all of these. So let's just get into articulation. The pelvic fins are on a ball joint and move all the way around, and they also have a hinge joint in the middle, but that really doesn't come into play till later. Though it can hinder it a bit in some poses, but it's not too bad. The lower and upper jaws do move, though unfortunately the upper jaws are not independent of the skull like they are on a real shark, but that's just the nature of the pieces. And finally, there is some side to side in the tail, but it's not all that great. Shark does a better job of it, I think. But, oh well. Anyways, onto transformation frame. Just bring this panel up right here, and that'll bring his tail back a bit. And pull out these arms. Then pop this bit off, and we'll get to that later. Now you can probably already see his face back there, maybe. But yeah. Anyways, rotate the top of the head around and push this red bit in that the gun was pegged to, and lower the jaw all the way. Now bring this panel up like that and set it against there. Now for the fun parts. Take that bit off and bring it down one, because it's actually set on there a bit odd, and bring the dorsal fin up, like so. Rotate it around and just bring it up like that, and just set it across the back. Now bring this around, and I'm not too certain. I did actually do a little bit of rearranging on this to make him slightly more accurate in the shark mode, so that's fine. Like that. Sorry if you all didn't hear any of that, but I had to rearrange these pelvic fins and how they were set on here. But anyways, rotate the upper arm around and bring the pelvic fin back like that. And yeah, he only has one hand, but that's where the gun comes into play, the bit that we popped off earlier. Split the tail, and right. Just flip this one up from under and this one around. And I like to give him a digitigrade stance, which is to say hip, knee, ankle, ball of foot, and toes, which he has spiky toes. Anyways, now onto the gun. Oh crap, he's not standing. Anyways, we cheat a little with here by popping these off and turning them 90 degrees. But, what you're gonna do. So there's the gun, and just plug that into his hand. And there we have Carcharokhan. Now, as for the general aesthetic, I was trying to decide between a knight, since the top of the head sort of resembles a visor, and like early 1940s to 50s space sci-fi. Well, 60s even. But so I went with the latter of the two because it would be easier. So there's a bit of influence there. Not quite a ray gun, but still, it works. And then there's the shoulders. Well, the upper arms anyways. Though these toes aren't exactly typical of that era of science fiction. But he has fully ball-jointed shoulders, and of course the fins get in the way a little. Let me see if this makes it any better. Because I just did this in between takes. Crap. Well, I guess it'll be like... I don't like that. Screw it. I guess I'll just have to deal with that. Anyways. No, and the dorsal fin's a tad loose. But anyways, pretty much everything's on a ball joint. The only thing that really gets in the way are the tops of these pelvic fins. Elbow, kind of weird because of the way it's jointed. So in order to get it to bend all the way forward, it actually has to turn sideways. But anyways, ball jointed hips, ball jointed knees, which go forward and back. And there's just a little bit of side to side, but that's the nature of these Hero Factory bones. Same with the ankles, unobstructed other than by the bracket which the ball is held in. And then the toes go all the way around too. And that's pretty much Carcharokhan. And yes, he does stand. And he poses quite nicely as well. As for like faction and all that, well, I've never really thought about faction all that much when building these guys. But I guess from his design, he's really more looks like a Maximal or an Autobot, even though he is a shark. And those are typically lumped into the Decepticons and Predacons. So I figured, why not break that? Because it's kind of a stigma, and it's kind of not fair. But anyways, there's let me know this. There's Carcharokhan, and this is Guy Rakavian saying good luck, good building, and goodbye.